Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Design Dialogue. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope everyone has a great time no matter what part of the world you're joining from. Before we kick off our design dialogue, let me introduce myself. I'm Alex, a senior product designer, Sydney-based designer with over 8 years of experience. I'm also mentor on ADPList, and I'm hosting this design dialogue podcast. Uh, if you want to be notified about our future episodes, feel free to follow my page on LinkedIn, and also Design Dialogue is available on Spotify and YouTube. And today we'll be talking about job search from a design perspective. And we have a very special guest, Mahshid Atabaki. She's my mentee. We met, I think, around a few years ago. And her journey is so inspiring to me that, yeah, I decided to invite her to our design dialogue. So today we have Mahshid Atabaki. She's a product designer from London. And Mahshid proved that for designers, there are no limits. And I will not take the full fame. Hello, Mahshid. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi everyone. Hello. I'm good. It's nice to be here and share my experience.
Yeah, that's great. I'm really happy to have you here. And
Thank
do you
you.
mind starting with a short intro?
Yeah, sure. So, as you said, I'm currently a product designer in London. I relocated here a year ago to start working with a company, and I've been a product designer for over 6 years now. And I had a different background, so I haven't studied design, but I get to know what is UX UI design, and then over time I got fond of it and started like self-educating myself. And I work with startups, agencies, and I have a like broad background working with different people, stakeholders. And yeah, that's a very short intro.
Yeah, great. Great to have you here. As I mentioned, your story is very inspiring to me, and I always, with my mentees, I always share your example as someone who can reach, who can achieve like any design goal. We just need to do this. And I believe that your experience, your journey will be inspiring for other designers and non-designers as well. Uh, so my first question I want to kick off would be about your decision when you realized that you want to find a new job, you want to move to a new career, and also you want to move abroad.
Um, I think it has started. So, if moving back to July 2023, that I relocated to UK, the journey of starting looking for a job abroad started maybe 2.5 years ago. So that spark that comes to my mind because I saw that some of my friends, some of the people I know, are finding jobs abroad, and they were like successful. And I feel like sometimes that in my country overall, like you can see that people have different perception. I feel like there's a class ceiling for growth. Like you cannot go beyond that. There's a lot of limitation. I wanted to work with international environment. I wanted to work with startups working in the international market, and that's something that wasn't possible that much. So that sparked the idea that I saw some successful people. I had the desire to be like them, to work in an international environment, and say, why not me? So let's just start it. And the journey started like I can say from now on, three years ago.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's really cool. And I think like looking for this growth as a designers, it's always open for us new opportunities, new directions, new ways. And yeah, by the way, I noticed that you like positioning yourself as a growth designer, and I guess you have like a lot of experience in growth design now, and you even shared like a few live events on LinkedIn. I noticed. So yeah, I think this goal to grow in different directions in like in your skills and your career. That's yeah, it could be a good trigger to start this journey. As moving countries myself, people often ask me why I prefer like particular country or city. Why did you prefer London?
Um, to be honest, I was looking for jobs anywhere in the Europe, but yes, London was the first place I was looking for. I was hoping for, because the main reason was the language. So because English is a language most of us are familiar with, and when you want to start working and living in a new area, how the language barrier can be challenging. So that was one of the main factor of looking for jobs in London. Apart from that, from based on my research, I noticed that UK, particularly London, has the biggest startup ecosystem in Europe. And because I was looking for jobs in Europe, basically, then I said this is the best area. And if you also take a look at the job opportunities here is way more than anywhere in the Europe. So all of them makes me to like try to have a focus on UK market, but I never limit myself to UK only. So anywhere that they have startups or companies that their main language is English, they are international, I apply for the jobs. Um, yeah, but these were the main factors.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And you mentioned this like research you made to decide where do you want to go. Uh, that's really interesting point because as product designers, we apply design process to solve different problems for different companies. But here is a good example where we can apply this process to anything in our life. Even like to find a job, we can still have this like design thinking and design process to get this job. And we can start with this research to get some data in what's happening on the market, what can we expect, what can we get in different countries, what are the opportunities on the markets, and yeah, how flexible is the market is. So yeah, it's really good point. Uh, when you started looking for a job back then, do you think there was the same level of competitiveness on the market as we have nowadays? Because as you mentioned, like you already spent 1 year in London and you started looking for a job like 2.5 years before that. So it seems like three and a half years uh, ago. How did you feel this market?
Mm, I think there is no specific answer to that, because there are a lot of factors that can contribute to the change. But I noticed there's always in the market there's always ups and downs, and it's like a cycle. Like you see a decrease and you see an increase and decrease, and that's a good point, because you know that if there aren't many jobs out there, soon there will be uh, jobs out there, because companies want to scale, companies want to grow, and people move between companies, and new founders, new companies emerges every day. So that's the thing that I can say there's a decrease and increase. The other thing that make me not to be sure is because, like, um, I actually can say I see more associate product designer even in the market that I didn't see before. Like I used to saw associate product manager, but I recently saw some jobs about associate product designer, and I say, oh, that's interesting, because I never know that there's a job like that. So that the companies can give this opportunity to people to learn and work at the same time. So as I said, I think there is no decrease. There might be changes in what is the responsibilities, and I'm talking about the UK market. I'm not talking about
Mhm.
any other market, because I haven't looked uh, for other markets, or at least I'm. It's been a year that I am not looking for Europe market, and so overall I can say it's ups and downs. So no, in my opinion, there is no decrease, no increase. There's always some opportunity out there.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's very good point. And it seems like, yeah, we already had this decrease. We had this down, like for the last year, I think, and the year before, where companies made a lot of roles redundant, and it was quite tough time for tech. I think even now it's still happening. It's less. I already see like a positive impact on different markets that were more roles, and it's also great you mentioned these like associate roles appearing on the market, because I remember like when I was looking for a job, I think 4 years, 5 years ago, we didn't have a lot of roles for junior designers, and it was really challenging. Like I would say it's always challenging for junior designers to land the first job. But what we have nowadays, there are more roles like this, and junior designers have more opportunities to start their career in tech, to start in a new company, and it inspires me, because like as a mentor, and you as a mentor as well, we we have like we deal with many junior designers, and like very common requests. Like I don't know about you, but for me it's like very common request how to land first job, how to land a job after like UX UI courses, after boot camp, uh, and yeah, all the stuff.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, you mentioned that like I guess the whole process took for you like 2.5 years between your initial, like let's say initial desire that you wanted to move abroad, you wanted to find a new company, and like the final outcome. Is it right, or was it like any different timeline?
And no, that's true. Yeah, from
Yeah,
the
so
first time too.
yeah, 2.5 years. That's impressive. It's very long period. Uh, did you have like was there any process within this time frame, or you just like regularly applied to different roles and yeah, tried to get like, your job? So what was like your search process? Did you have any strategy in mind, or how did you
Yeah.
start?
So at the beginning, I just wanted, with no strategy, with no clear path, all uncertainty. But I think in order to achieve everything, the first thing is to really think about that. Start thinking about that, because when you start thinking, you figure out the solutions. You notice similar people that are doing that, or you notice opportunities. I started with no strategy because I didn't know what to do. I started looking at people who were successful, and then build my network, build my strategy as I go on. I become part of, I believe, a group. Um, it was for Iranian, that there was a channel in Telegram that there was a community of people who landed job abroad in tech particularly, and there were lots of people there, lots of successful examples. They were mostly engineers, marketing somehow, and product manager. They were two, I think I said, at least I know two people from design, and it was very inspiring for me that it is possible. People are finding job abroad. And I can say, as you said, it was a very iterative approach. So I started creating a portfolio, enhancing my CV. I applied, get new responses. I get feedback, iterate, make it better, no responses, again and again and again until I get, okay, rejections. Then I go to interviews. Then I rejected in the interviews. And during this back and forth, I learned a lot. Like I didn't have a strategy at the beginning. I didn't have all the skills at the beginning. During interviews, I noticed, okay, I'm not good at this. Maybe I should go and invest some time on this while I'm trying. I'm not good at this softer skill. I'm not good at this harder skill. And then I filter companies. What company makes is a great match for me, and what I'm looking for in the jobs. How should I prepare myself for interviews? How should I talk? How should I present? And I think I learned a lot during just going to interviews. Then sometimes I feel like most of the softer skills I learned was just getting prepared for interviews rather than working during my working time. Um, so there wasn't any specific strategy, but over time I started to notice how and when I should change my direction. And I ask for help a lot. I get feedback a lot, which I had a couple of meetings with you around optimizing my CV portfolio that really helped me to notice where is my weakness, where I need to change. And even now, after a year here, I look back at my portfolio and CV and sometimes says, what is this? I notice, okay, it needs to get better, because as we build knowledge, we started to notice the weaknesses we that were completely hidden for us. So that's great, because you have to go through this to understand where is your weakness, where is your strength, and then you can update. So as you said, it's very iterative. I think the best strategy was to iterating on that.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like iterations, the same as a real product, as a digital product, a physical product. Like iteration, ship this on the market, put yourself on the market, try it on, like experience these interviews, and then like iterate, collect feedback, talk to your customers. Because when we talk about like product designers, our customers are recruiters and hiring managers, different design managers, design directors, head of designs, lead designers, etc. Many different roles. So all these people are our customers, and we can get feedback from there about our resume, about our portfolio, about our approach to different interviews. And yeah, by these iterations, we will learn. That's really, really cool. And as you mentioned, yeah, there's no endpoint for improving portfolio or even our CV. Within a career, we can get like more knowledge, more insights, and continue. We can keep going, improving. So we need to know like where to stop, where is like enough to start applying. And yeah, it's like the same as real product. Go on the market, apply with your resume, with your portfolio, see what's happening, and then improve. Considering that usually when we apply for different roles, resume CV is our first entry point to deal with the job search. Uh, what did you do with it? How did you craft your CV? Did you have like, I don't know, any experiments? Because there are like lots of questions about resume. Should it be like 1 page, 2 page? Should it include summary, or should it include like education first and work experience first and education? Like lots of different opinions. How did you nail it?
Yeah, that's one of the area I did a lot of experimentation. And so I started with, there were a lot of platforms, people saying like, your CV you should use this platform because it's ATS friendly. But I feel like all of them somehow limiting the way I can put my experience in a good way. So then I shift to Google Doc to be honest. I use it just a simple Google Doc file, and I just put my information there. I think more than what tools or like platform we use is the important thing is the content and the way we put it on the page, like the hierarchy, having a good scannability, visibility. The way I presented was usually have a like title, make sure that the portfolio is at top, and I like as visible as possible so that the recruiters can notice, and then starting with experience and education, and then skills. I see different approaches. Like some people bring skills up there. I don't. I don't think there is a like any of this is better than the other. As long as you make sure you are putting the right content, and you also don't make the page really cluttered, so you give some white space to increase readability, scannability, because you're a designer. As a designer, you're good at uh, putting information in a way that can be readable, can easy to scan. And what else about the CV? So I often try to have different variation of CV in terms of one page or two page. I started with one page because I didn't have that much experience. I think less than 5 years experience. I think one page is good. It depends on your what you want to put in your CV, but it should be somewhere between one or two is normal. As long as you have good information to convey, you can use the two page. If it's something big, like if you have an award, if you have something to wants to show off, you want to express, why not add it on your CV? But that just don't just fill a CV with words because you wanted to have two page. It's not working because you need to show the best of yourself. So put everything that show who you are, what have you achieved, and if it's one page, it's okay. If it's gonna be two page, it's okay. But make sure you're happy with that because it is the best of yourself that you can show.
Yeah, that's really cool insights. Thanks for sharing this. And yeah, be yourself and show who you are as a designer in your resume. I would say as well, it's like the key point, present yourself and show like what is the impact you can bring to the company you're applying to, what is the value you can bring to this company. So they want to hire you because the competitiveness on the market is high. There are a lot of designers over there and we're all looking for jobs. And it's so, sometimes it's so tough because for one application, one job position, people could have like hundreds of applications. And with your resume, it's like a good chance to stand out, to show your personality and also like your professional part, who you are as a designer, what is the value you can bring, what did you do in the past that aligns with experience for a new role. Uh, Cool. You mentioned a really good point about portfolio in the top because even now I see it's still a question because not all designers put the portfolio link on the very top of the resume, but it must be very noticeable, clickable, and yeah, recruiters need to have like this easy access to your portfolio. And talking about your portfolio, what did you do with your portfolio to find a job? Did you have any iteration there? Did you have any variations, or what was the structure of your portfolio? How did you present it to recruiters?
Yeah, I think my portfolio also, I started with some slide decks on Figma, then I like create a web like prototype in Figma, then I finally understand the best way is to have a website because it gives you flexibility to put information the way you want. There are different website builder you can use, and it's good to also try to use any of them because I see many job opportunities out there also looking for the experience with any job website builder. So if you have tried this for your website portfolio, you can add it as your experience, uh, and that's a good starting point. And I recommend having a website with your name as a domain. It's more professional and easier to show your skills, and I think it's going to be a lot. I can't talk about everything about portfolio here, but uh, you need to have at least 3 to 5 case studies. And I even explore what case studies I want to have. And I noticed, for example, there are a couple of case studies that it looks like are more attractive to recruiters, because I also attach the Google Analytics to my website, so I know which cases that they're looking for. And I noticed they usually look for the first two, no more than that, because they are very short in time, and they are time poor, and they have a lot of CV and portfolios want to check. So as you said, I think after the CV, the second most important thing is portfolio. And it's, if I want to just say in a word, just in word, it should have good interface. I mean, it should be clean, tidy. As I said, have good scannability. It should contain the right information, your process, and it shouldn't have the zero to end of building a whole app or website, because it is obvious that it's a boot camp. Whether you're a junior or senior, don't have that kind of case studies on your portfolio. Make it just as simple as changing a fellow, adding a feature, improving one part of the product, increasing a metric or decreasing a metric that if you want to decrease, and try to connect your solution to some business metric. If it's not a business metric, make it quantifiable. The number is not just metric, for example, increasing conversion rate by this amount of percent. You can talk about the number of interviews you have done, the number of problems you have solved. Just add some number, because number are important. As long as something is measurable, it looks more real than just saying it with some words, because it looks very general. I think these are the best tips that maybe help me. Uh, and again, it is iteration. Again, when I go back to my portfolio, sometimes I feel like I don't know what I have done. It looks weird. And a good point is always ask someone else that is not aware of what you're doing at all to take a look at your portfolio, to see if someone outside can understand what you have written. Because sometimes we have so much information in our head about what we have done that we put this story in a way that is not understandable to someone outside there. So if someone else out there read your content and understand the story, it means you give enough information. And that's very important, because uh, I learned it when I was like asking someone, "Can you read this?" and say, "I don't understand. What did you do? I don't understand. Where does this problem coming from?" Or there were some pieces of the puzzle that missing, and they helped me to put the story in a better, more understandable way.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I think a very well noted thing should be this Google Analytics you attach to your portfolio. So you can track like real data. You can see what do people do on your portfolio website, on your portfolio, what they explore, what is the most popular, most common cases. Uh, yeah, it's so smart. And it can bring a lot of insights to us as designers, what we can improve, where is our weaknesses in the portfolio, etc. So yeah, that's really, really, really cool. I love that approach. It's still like, again, it proves that you treated your portfolio, your career as a standalone product, and you do like all the same things you're doing for process designer. You applied all these methodologies to your CV, to your portfolio, and yeah, improving everything together. That's super cool. Uh, you reached a lot of companies, and I think we didn't mention it before, just in the name of uh, our episode, but you made approximately 810 applications. It's really, really crazy number. It's hard to imagine that one individual can make this amount of job application and still be passionate about design, about career, about UX, about all this stuff. So obviously we received some rejections, we all do. And uh, what did you do to still have this inspiration to keep going and not to burn out because of this like really tough process?
That's a great point. That's I think one of the things that I wasn't good at. I wasn't good at dealing with no, and I get to understand that. So at the beginning, let's just talk about what sort of rejections I get. So if you're applying abroad to, if you're applying for a job abroad, probably you see a lot of application with no response. That's okay. And you see a lot of application with, unfortunately, we decided to move with other candidate, which is okay. I think most of this is because of the visa issues that companies are like having problem to provide this with you for you if you're applying abroad. But then there are cases that you're not a good match, or you go to interviews and get rejected after the first, the second, the task interview. And this is the area that you can work on and you can improve yourself. So these are the type of rejections I get. And in terms of how to still still be passionate about, or like not giving up, or keep doing, keep applying, and not uh, end up into a burnout. um, I have some tips, because I think the first important one that you need to know is, what does no means to you. At the beginning, no means never for me. So when I get the first rejection, I would say I'm not qualified or I can't make it, because no means never to me. But over time, I notice, I get to learn that no is not, it means not now. There is a gap between me and the thing I want to have. I just have to fill the gap. What are they looking for? And then I build it. This approach helps you to don't label yourself, and then look for how you can improve yourself. Even if you don't get that specific thing, as long as you show up, as long as you express yourself, as long as you see that no as a way to improve yourself, you're moving forward. And that's important thing, because uh, when you label yourself that I'm not qualified, you give up. But when you see it as a not now, you say, okay, I need to improve this. You get, and the important thing is, after each rejection, I'm not talking about the first rejection that they say they are not going to provide you with any feedback. But if you go through any interviews, it doesn't matter. Ask them for their feedback. Reflect on how did you present yourself. Talk with a mentor about what did you show, how did you show, and then try to improve yourself, even if it's a small soft skills, even if it's about like improving one of your hardest skills. For example, you didn't mention why you did that usability test, and they, for example, they say you are not very sure about your approach or process. Think about how you can rewrite this story, how you can understand, okay, where did I made a mistake, or where did I didn't present myself as they were looking for. And over time, you make yourself closer to what you're looking for. I think the only way to still feel passionate and not give up is to change our mindset from no as never to not now, and know that there are many people out there that achieve this. So it's not impossible. It's not impossible. And if you feel like you get to a point that you have no passion, just take some day as rest, stop for a while, but then continue. Because um, for myself, because I think I wasn't a good person at like stepping back and rest, and I do this every day, every day, every day for a year without even a break, and I was very exhausted, and sometimes feel very disappointed. I think that's very important to rest in between, reflect. It like sharpening your axe, then start again, and knowing that it's not something impossible because you already have people like this. Surround yourself with the same people, and together you can learn from each other, and make sure make the give up as a no option. Because when you are surrounded with the same people who have the same passion, one day you might feel disappointed, but you get the good vibe and energy from others, and you can provide that energy for each other, and that's good. So I think these are the ways we can still avoid getting burnout, feel passionate, and not giving up, at least in my perspective.
Whoa, that's amazing. The initial thought I have, like, I want to print it out, like, no doesn't mean no, and just show it to all designers and print it, like, put it on the wall. Because yeah, changing your mindset, it sounds like something very difficult, but it could help. It could help to avoid this, like, to avoid burning out to different process, not only like applying for different roles. Maybe you have like a tough time at your job. Maybe you have like a complex problem you can't resolve right now. Changing your mindset, like it's always very difficult, but when we can do it, we can push these boundaries, and yeah, we can make we can achieve everything we want. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, really good example that people around us, there are a lot of examples that people are doing this, and they're doing this successfully. So why you can't? You can. Everyone can, because there are a lot of examples on the market that yeah, people move between countries. People can
Yeah.
get any job in any company, like in any company in the world. You can get job anywhere. You just need to make some effort. You just need to find this gap Mahshid mentioned. Uh, what is the gap? What is this barrier between yourself and this company, and try to remove it. Try to close this gap, and yeah, you can be closer to a dream company, and yeah, that's really, really so. Uh, by the way, I don't know how many people are watching us live, but if you have any questions, you can send them in the chat, and in the end, we'll have some time so you can answer them. Uh, Going back to the process, what was the part of your process when you reached out to different companies and recruiters? Did you apply it via the genuine link from the website, or did you message them? Like, what did you do to establish this first connection with a company you want to apply to?
Um, I tried many approaches. I applied directly through these job boards, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, OTA, and I also started connecting with recruiters on LinkedIn. So to build my network, I at that time when I started, I didn't want to ask them directly, "Hey, are you looking for um, someone?" But I started to build network, following, connecting, because I know that they are sharing positions, they are the one that looking for product designers, and maybe one day I will start reaching out to them. And over time, I also tried this approach of reaching out directly to recruiters. I get to talk to some of them, I remember, but it didn't end up anywhere. So I can't say it's not working. It's working definitely. Don't limit yourself, but it didn't work out for me. So most of the interviews I get was just through direct application, and but I got the chance to have some good interview, like practicing mock interview with people that I reach out to directly. That helped me overall and to my process of looking for jobs abroad.
Yeah, cool. That totally makes sense. Um, I wonder, how did you manage all like the whole process? Because obviously 800 applications, like even 100 applications, this is a lot. Did you have any system of
Yeah,
management, tracking? How did you like track all this stuff?
yeah, definitely. Uh, I open a spreadsheet and just in the first row, I add the title like company, position, location, what CV did I use, where did I apply, how many people applied before me, when did I apply, and just add each company as a row. So I have 810 row in my spreadsheet. And once each company, I have different colors for labeling different stages as a legend. So, for example, gray means I was rejected, green means I get the offer, blue means I get the invitation, and red means I rejected in the interview process. And then I look back and I know which company rejected me, which company in the interview process, which company rejected me before interview process, what were the companies that I get the interview, and it helps me to keep track of what I'm doing. And because, for example, I receive an email from a company that say after a month that they come to the interview, and I say, okay, I don't remember where were you in the war, what was the job about. So I just quickly search on the spreadsheet and get the information I needed. For example, it's in Barcelona, and I could quickly check the. You could actually add the job requirements there, but because it was very time consuming, I didn't do that. So because companies remove the job positions after a time from LinkedIn, if it's something that you want to go back and check to prepare for interview, you can have them as well. This is very helpful to prepare yourself for the interview and answering the question. You can also have that. You can use Notion or any other tools, but it's good to have a track of that so you know. But don't get really disappointed by the numbers. The numbers doesn't show anything. As I said, when you're looking for jobs abroad, it is going to be a lot of no, of course, but you just don't need it one yes. So keep focused on the yes.
Yeah, and go for it. Go for it. And remember that no doesn't mean no. It means like not now.
Not
And
now.
yeah, that's that's really, really great. In terms of these like tools, by the way, I'm used Notion to track applications, and I use it like a Kanban board where I moved cards from column to column to see like where I am at with different companies, and also I made different notes inside these cards. So I can be sure that yeah, I don't forget like some critical things or very important things to mention. Uh, so the tool really doesn't matter. The content is, and you need to consider what is inside, like what you put inside, what do you want to track, what is the most important part from this job application, from that job application, and yeah, keeping track of this pretty helpful.
Yeah.
Uh, Looking back at this process now, from the experience and position you are now, What do you think? Did you reflect on that? What is like, I don't know, you already mentioned that you learned a lot from this process. What was the most, I would say, the main lesson from this like journey in 2.5 years of looking for a job?
I could think of a couple of things. The first one is my mindset. As I said, I was very bad at dealing with no, and no means end of the world to me. Now, no means nothing. Like, I will find another way to make it work out. No means I'm not there yet. And the other thing is knowing that there is no end to this cycle of improvement. So even if you get the job or whatever, you have to keep updating yourself. You have to keep learning. So there is no end. This is not a linear. This is a cycle. You have to improve yourself. And the other thing is express yourself. This as a person, it is your job to express yourself fully and be really creative. Yes, some people say I have to job on the LinkedIn job board or go reach out to recruiters directly. If you come up with any other creative ways, try it. Rules are not meant to limit us. If we know that these paths are working, doesn't mean you cannot be creative and try other approaches. It's just to help us to know these are the first thing we can try, but really be creative in how you want to show yourself, how you want to express yourself, how you want to apply. Even be creative with your portfolio, with your CV. As long as you uh, meeting the standards, you can you can try different approaches. And I think as designers, as creative people, we have to apply this mindset in our way of working. Like, for example, if you think sharing posts on LinkedIn about information is helpful to get noticed, to get recognized, do that. If you feel like talking is the way for you, do that. If you feel like YouTube is the way for you to express yourself. And notice that every small of action, every a small action you do is contributing to the goal. It's not lost in the darkness. So you can say, okay, I have to just go to interviews. No, you have to show yourself, you have to improve your skills and show this, express yourself, because it is not our let people stop you. Don't stop and limit yourself. And the other thing I learned is, again, I mentioned earlier, to rest, ask for feedback, ask for help, and and don't limit yourself into, as I said at the beginning of the conversation, I was looking for a job everywhere because, yeah, I know, for example, I love to be in that company, I love to be in that area. Yes, that makes sense, but maybe it's not achievable for me in one jump. Okay, I will do my best to get closer to what I want, maybe in two jump. That's okay, as long as you have that goal in your vision and you have that passion and you trying to reduce the gap. It's working. And I was okay to work in any other area and then jump to my, like, the best place I imagine, even in two jumps. It's okay because all of them are progress, as long as you're happy with what you're doing. And that's just, don't limit yourself. If you're looking for a job abroad, don't limit for looking for a job in a specific company or country, especially if you're in the junior mid-level positions, as I was. When I was looking, I was in a mid-level. And so it was very tough for me to say I want to be working there in that country, in that company. That limit my opportunities. But and it put a lot of burden on me, and it definitely lead to burnout because things are out of my control. But if I set the goal as I'm going to progress, I'm going to go and work with a better company than the previous one. If it's a small jump, it's going to make me closer to what I'm looking for. It's still progress. And make sure you set your goals right. And I think that's a couple of things I learned. And it depends, like, it might not resonate with you. It depends
No,
on
no,
you.
that's really inspiring. I believe it's really inspiring for, I would say, for different type of designers, like for junior designers, for middle designers, even for senior designers. Because what I see now on the market, that even senior designers, they struggle to find a job. It's not easy. You need to try. You need to do something. You need to express yourself. You need to show what did you achieved previously, and you need to convince these companies, these new companies, that you will bring value to this to the job, rather than just show it. Here I am. I'm a designer. I'm looking for a job. You need to convince people, to show people. But it's the end resonates very with our day-to-day job, where we solve problems, we prove to stakeholders, we prove to different teams what we're working on, that it's important, that we're solving the problem. It's not just something with visual design. It's more like solving a bigger, more important problems. Uh, you already provided lots of different tips. I would say like it's like a treasure of different tips and things people can do while looking for a job, especially looking for a job like across different companies. Uh, what is them like? What can you recommend to these junior beginner designers? What they can do better to land the first job and jump into the market, start working, and what advice would be here?
For junior designers. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
junior
think
associate designers, all those who just started their career.
great. Yeah, I think a couple of things they can keep in mind. First one is to uh, getting feedback from a mentor constantly, constantly, because it can give you direction. You're going to try, but having a mentor beside you, make sure you're trying, you're moving in the good direction toward your goal. Second is to, and if you have not, so it really depends. If you have some sort of case studies already from your bootcamp or university, make sure to, if it's a big case study like creating an app from zero, try to break it down into different case studies, at least, for example, two case studies. And just, for example, focus on a story of creating a fellow, or adding a feature into that, uh, adding a feature that bring value to user. Just extract two good story from that big case study and make it to good case study with good storytelling, because you already did that. You just need to fine tune the story. And if you still don't have that thing in your portfolio, start working with companies that are looking for volunteers. There are some websites that look for volunteers, startups working in climate tech, and like charities that they don't pay you, but you have the ability to work with teams and work on something that is not uh, is a real product. So look for this. You can ask for, you can search for them in on search engine. You can search through LinkedIn. You can start following these charities, these companies. You can message them even. As I said, really be creative. If you feel like you like to help a company, help a charity, just send a message. So these are the ways that you can optimize your portfolio, because a boot camp case study is going to be a bit tough for you to find a job. But this is how you can differentiate yourself. Work on your soft skills, work on your confidence, it is okay you're junior, but that doesn't mean that you should have low self-confidence. You should still be able to communicate, articulate your design decisions. You can still bring value to companies, and you just need to know how. That's why you need to get a constant feedback from mentors to guide you on how you can better prepare yourself for that. And at the beginning, it might be like you have to try different approaches, reach out to different people, sending messages to many companies. It's okay. Anyone at the beginning of their job is doing this. So it's not just product design. At any job, if you're just started, you have to push a little harder. You have to try more because you have to show yourself. And it's good because you learn to really fight for your ideas, for your vision, and I think it's necessary, and it's no difference to any other job. So don't get discouraged by like saying it's just for product design. It's for any job. If you're an engineer, if you're a teacher, whatever, this is still happening. You have to try harder at the beginning of your career. um, and as a junior, I can think of all this. There was something else that I forgot. I should have taken note. And I can't recall it now, but I hope it helps.
Yeah, definitely, really great piece of advice. And yeah, as I mentioned, even this advice, like for junior designers, will be helpful for any designer, for any role, and yeah, for anyone on the market. So yeah, awesome. Thanks for that. It looks like yeah, in the comments you already got some kind of fan club. So yeah, people who admire your journey, who admire that yeah, you if you want something, you can get it, and yeah, that is so inspiring. Like as I as I said before, your example is really inspiring to me. That yeah, designer can achieve anything, and we can do anything. And designers who say that well, it's hard to prove something to stakeholders, or it's hard to do something, it's hard to craft portfolio, to change CV to a specific job application. Uh, Look at Mahshid. This is a real example. 810 applications to get this job, and she did it. So yeah, that's really awesome. Thank you, Mahshid, for sharing your story. I believe it will be super helpful for anyone, and thank you for people who watched us live, who will be watching us many other time. Hope you enjoy it. And yeah, feel free to find Mahshid on LinkedIn as well. And yeah, you can send questions under the conversation on LinkedIn and we'll respond later. So yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Mahshid. Thank you for
Thank you so much.
all this valuable stuff you shared. And everyone had a great day, afternoon, or night. Thank you and bye.
Thank you. Bye.